Hello and welcome to the STB Racing League Season 17 continuation. Tonight we continue with the Tier 2 season with the final race of the European season. We head to Italy tonight, the Monza circuit located in southern Italy. An absolute beautiful circuit and an absolute historical circuit as well. I believe it is the third longest running track on the calendar, so it's held the third most Grand Prix in the Formula 1 season. So yeah, I think all the drivers are very excited for this one tonight. Very high speed, very precise. A lot of places that you can make mistakes, and even the smallest mistake will cost you. So yeah, I'm excited for it, and I'm sure Buckley is excited for it as well, as he joins me in the commentary box again for tonight. So how are you, Buckley?
Yeah, I'm good. It's absolutely great to be back, and especially at this famous track, the Temple of Speed, the home of the Tifosi, and yeah, this is just an amazing track with so many special corners such as the Scary, the Parabolica, and the Ledmos as well. So we'll see who will be top of the Temple.
Yeah, it's a fan favourite, I think, for the circuit. It offers plenty of overtaking opportunities. And as you said, a few drivers and teams home Grand Prix tonight. So it'll be one where they're going to be wanting to impress, as we said as well, because it is the final race of the European season. So yeah, we got Nuvolari on his home race, Timo Kata as well. They'll both be looking to impress, especially Nuvolari as well, with the Alfa Romeo being an Italian-based team. So they're going to be looking for a good Grand Prix tonight, I'm sure.
Yeah, 3 Italian teams, if I'm not mistaken, in this lobby: the Ferrari, the AlphaTauri, and the Alfa Romeo. We've got 3 teams at their home races, and they'll be looking to impress the whole home fans.
Well, Buckley, I'm on board with SFS Serra if you want to take us for a lap of Monza as I quickly sort something out.
Yep, so we've got Serra going down to turns 4 and 5, going through the Lesmos. Going through turn number 5, he needs to set himself up for this very long straight, going down into the Scary. He's got really high now to set his head right for turn 7 and 8, very famous corners. And we'll see how he takes it. He takes it really nicely, and seems like there's no mistakes there. As he goes down this short straight, heading for the famous Parabolica. We'll see how he takes this one. Goes he misses the apex as he kind of slides around the Parabolica. He sets himself up for the final corner, and he goes into the pit lane. That was looking good, but maybe he invalidated or something, as Serra, brilliant box, and Nuvolari. I think he's around the final corner. We'll see what lap time he puts in, as Sharp was P1 to 180.6, as Nuvolari was starting his lap time. So as Kevin comes P6 on the Ferrari on mediums, 120.1 as Matt was P8, 21.9 on mediums, FRA BTX. There we go, I said his name right once. Was P6, 19.9 instead of softs.
Janino P6, as you just say that, on a set of mediums.
Yep.
So obviously he wants a first set of softs for the race. Pretty decent lap time for the medium tyre. So he'll be looking good for later on in the session. Probably feeling quite confident. As we see Downboss as well on a set of mediums. Kevin as well, but quite a long way off of his teammate, which you don't see often from the championship leader, but plenty of time to make his way up the grid later in this session.
Yeah, exactly. There's probably a mistake there from Kevin. On his lap, he's got loads of time to box and put a new fresh set of tyres. As see Nuvolari, see what he can do on mediums. And Alfa Romeo comes across the line, goes P10, the second lap on those tires.
Yeah. I think he'll be slightly disappointed with possibly the banker lap, because he's already spent, a third of the session. It's only P11 at the moment. But he should have time for... two more runs on sets of softs. We are expecting it to be an easy one-stop softs to mediums, but obviously some are going to go for an alternate strategy if they can.
Yep.
We do have, sorry to interrupt you there, we do have a debutant tonight in the form of Daniel, SKF, so we will be just calling him Daniel. He jumped in the Mercedes tonight, replacing Max Andrews, who's unavailable for the race tonight. So, a chance for him to show his pace. Hasn't set laps on at the moment, but
I was a bit late now.
yeah, he was looking quite strong. So I think he's going to be looking to impress in his first race. And obviously we've got two drivers who had their debuts last week, SLR Sen, SLR Nicky, although SLR Nicky wasn't really in the race on our end for half the race. But SLR Sen, what did you make of his debut in Belgium?
I think it was strong. I think there was moments of the races where he shone. I think there was moments of the races where he showed his experience. But I think there definitely is some potential there to be a driver in the league. I think he keeps his head, keeps his cool in this race. I think that's a really good result.
Yeah, I think it was a strong showing. He showed his ability to put himself in the mix when it matters. But yeah, as you say, and Serrat's gone wide.
Serrat, yeah.
And he's managed to hold that. And that could have been a monstrous crash at the end of the Scari.
Got that.
But he's managed to hold it. As we see, Danger Man put himself up into P4. Decent lap from the McLaren driver. But it is still Shark who sits on provisional pole. Sinfloat is just coming through the second sector now. And he's on a set of mediums, so still a few drivers out on these mediums. Which I wasn't expecting to see.
Davies around, that's going to Lesmos. Oh, he gets in the way of the Force India, not Force India, racing point on it. Yeah. Really, he's the last one. Still has time to go back to pits. And the first new set of tires, see what he can do. It's, Tavares, did he just jump up to P2 there? P2. Sure. XBR Tavares.
Well, Cineflow comes up to the line now, see what he can do. It's only a 21.3, so it's not going to be good enough to put himself anywhere near the top 10 at the moment. TMR Kata is just starting his lap behind Cineflow, and Cineflow is going to get right in his way here. Kata's not going to be overly happy with that. So he has a bit of a slide on the exit turn 2. But this is quite an important lap for a Racing Point driver. Needs to get a banker lap in. Cineflow doesn't seem to want to move out of the way.
Yeah, this is...
Yeah, he's definitely going to be sent to the steward's room for this, luckily. And he's not moving out of the way. Yeah, I think that's going to be a slam dunk penalty, unfortunately, for the Renault driver. That was very, very poor.
Kevin, brilliant lap.
Yeah, Kevin puts himself just ahead of VCRL Shark, who is just starting a lap, I believe. No, he's just finished his lap. So he hasn't improved. Tavares as well, he's currently sitting in P3. Pretty strong at the moment from him. We missed Daniel's lap as well. He's put himself up into P5. SLR Nicky sitting in P7 as well. Matt, quite a long way down at the moment. He is on a lap, so we'll run on board with him. And off Alex out of the session, and that is at the exit of Scari.
Yep, Scari. We lost it on the exit, turn 8. That's unfortunate. Looking really good as well in P8 as Matt goes through turn 8. Not turn 8, turn 5.
Yeah, a bit hesitant on the throttle at the second Lesmo, but
yeah,
well, that would have cost him a massive amount of time. We'll have to see as he comes through the second sector line now. and he's 4 tenths up on his time. So
The apex bit.
he's on
Seems
target at the
good.
moment to put himself possibly on the second row or higher if he can gain a load of time for this final sector. He's managed to avoid the traffic of the Alfa Romeo as he comes around the Parabolica now. It's right out on the AstroTurf on the left hand side. Takes a narrow run to the line. Where can he put himself? He puts himself on the second row and not far off pole position. So not a bad lap from the Mercedes driver. I think most drivers are now in the pit lane doing another lap. Nivellari's just started a lap, so we'll keep an eye on him. Just said it is his home Grand Prix, so he's going to be looking to get a good result in this one.
Yeah, as you said, it's his own Grand Prix. He goes through turn 4 and 5. He clicks the apex really nicely into turn 6 and 7 of the Lesmos. Let's see what he's like through here. Yeah, it seems nice and stable.
And Surratt's put himself on pole position, Buckley.
Yeah.
We aren't getting any notifications from who is taking the top spot, so we just have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, Surratt has beaten Kevin's time by 12 thousandths. Puts himself on provisional pole.
Larry almost lost it through Ascari. A big tank stopper coming out of turn 10. As he goes down into the Parabolica, we'll see what he can do.
He's nice and tight. Yeah. Look pretty clean. So this looks like an alright lap from the Alfa Romeo driver, but where will it put him in the standings? We'll have to see as he comes up to the line. Where's it going to put him? He's on provisional pole. Brilliant lap from the Alfa Romeo. He's nearly 2 tenths clear of the rest of the field. And that is what he needed. The man who can still win this championship, although it is a long, long way off, he is still in this championship, and I think that's going to do wonders for his confidence.
Yeah, it's going to be very big for him. His own Grand Prix. It's going to fill him with confidence right now. Heading into the last part of qualifying. Going to be a shootout between Larry, Sarah, Kevin, and Shark. Those are probably the
Janino's 3 tenths up at the moment, Buckley. So with a good final sector, he could put himself towards the top 7, top 6 possibly. So we'll watch him now as he comes up to the Parabolica. Looks pretty nice and tight. A bit slow on the power though, that might affect his run all the way to the line. And he does box, so he wants to get a fresh set on for the end of this session. As I believe Kevin's just started a lap, so let's watch him as he flies around the Curva Grande now into the second chicane. Is a race I think that he really wants to get a good result. In terms of the championship, if Kevin does win tonight, he can wrap up the championship next week in Singapore, which just shows how dominant he has been in this season. But he's got this qualifying session and the race to go first, see what he can do, as Danbos puts himself just behind his teammate, 7 thousandths off pole position.
2 Alfa Romeo, wow.
Yeah, and a Ferrari 4th currently. Janino is a long way down. I think he's going to be disappointed with that at the moment. And I think Kevin's backed off here, Buckley. He's going to be boxing for a new set of softs.
Maybe one
last run.
Maybe one thing, and you said one last run, one last shot at the position. He's going to put on new softs, turn the fuel down, and have one last shot at it. As most drivers are exiting the pit on their outlap.
Yeah, there's a few on lap 7. Is looking like he's going to come into the pits now, but I don't think he's got time. He's run out of fuel.
Oh, yeah.
He's run out of fuel, so I think that's his session over. Kata is coming up to the Parabolica. I think he's boxing as well, so that could be his session done with already. Bram Nilsson's on a lap, so we'll keep an eye on him as he comes through the second sector line. He's pretty much matching his PB. So unless he's got a load of time to gain in this final sector, he's not going to make much movement in the standings. I think Daniel's on a lap as well, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. Danbos obviously has set his final run. He's boxing just ahead of Bram Nilsson. As Bram Nilsson now comes across the line, where can he put his racing point? It is P6. Just misses out on Jumping Shark. And Matt has just started his lap, but we're keeping an eye on, I think Daniel will be the first across the line, and he's not on a lap, he is on an out lap. So if he's got enough fuel, he will be going again. So let's keep an eye on Matt.
Yeah, he's getting
a bit of a slipstream from the racing points, so that's definitely going to help him. But he was looking, I think he was reasonably confident going into this race, a track that he likes. A little bit tentative through the chicane, but he was a 10th up through the first sector. So we'll see what he's like through this middle sector, and whether he gains some more time. Pretty good through the Lesmos, keeps it nice and clean. You see the AlphaTauri in the background there, I believe that's CJ Allen on a lap.
Pretty neat.
So here comes through Ascari. Yeah, it's seeming pretty clean through Ascari, bit of a slide through the middle of the corner, but nothing untowards. So he's got one more corner to negotiate, but can he get himself anywhere near pole position or even the first two rows? As he comes around Parabolica, keeps it very clean, tight on the line again, all the way up to the line now. Where is he going to put his Mercedes for this qualifying session? It's only P6. Yeah. And I think he's going to be a bit disappointed with that. And I'm going to go on board with Daniel now, his teammate. It's a little bit tentative through Ascari. I haven't seen what his delta is saying, how far he is up, or if he's up at all. And Janino's put himself into P5, Buckley, so that's better from the Ferrari driver as Daniel comes across the line. It's only P13, misses out by a couple of attempts from the top 10 in the end. And Kevin is coming through the second chicane, so let's keep an eye on him, Buckley. And he's backed off. Oh. Kevin's backed off. And that is his session done. And he's going to be P4 at best. And Nuvolari is currently on a lap, so we'll keep an eye on him. I believe Giannino's done his final run, so he's not going to be any better. But two Ferrari drivers, only P4 and 5.
I think
what is their team's home race?
I think we might have a bit of a glitch run. I see few drivers across the line.
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, and Nuvolari span it, Ascari! Massive crash! And he's out of the session. And that was on his final run. And he is still on provisional pole, but can he keep it is the question.
And Boston team that he's setting it up right now, going through Corporate Grande.
Sarah as well. Sarah's at the second chicane. I didn't see his first sector time. Kevin is out, as we said. He's done his final run. Nothing more to improve from the Ferrari driver, as now the Williams driver coming down the straight. He's got a lot of time to think about these next three corners. The left, right, left, high speed, about 140 miles an hour. Brakes for Ascari at the 100 metre board. Goes a little bit wide. That's going to cost him all the way through Ascari.
I think that my speeding was 210. That's going to lose most of that time.
Yeah, that's going to cost him at least a 10th, but this could still be very close for pole position. Keeps it tight at Parabolica, runs perfectly wide on the exit. Two wheels off the track as he comes up to the line now. Can he put himself on provisional pole? He doesn't. He was down in the end. It was that mistake that cost him. And Shark has put himself on provisional pole with the final run. He was just behind his teammate. And he is on provisional pole.
Wow.
Unless SLR Sem can do anything about it, but it looks like he's down on his time. A great lap from the Williams driver at the end, and Sem's all the way off the track. And he's going to box as he's down on his time. And that is your grid, as Crooken has boxed as well. VCR Shark pulled out the lap right at the end. What he needed.
Yes, on Belgium. He probably wants a bit of redemption. So he got pole in Belgium as well, I think. And to get the pole again here. Shark. See what he can do in the race.
Yeah, it's looking very, very close.
Yeah.
In particular, the top 10. Only separated by about 3/10. So, looking like a good race will be coming our way. But it is VCR Shark who takes his second pole position in a row. Nuvolari having a crash on his final lap. which may have cost him pole position in the end, but he does start on the front row for his home race. Dambos in P3 as well, backing up Alfa Romeo's charge. SV Surat in P4. Two Ferraris on the third row. FNT Kevin ahead of his teammate Juninho. TMR Qatar on his home race starts P7. Matt down in P8 is going to be disappointed with that. Bram Nilsson starts in P9. Tavares puts himself in P10. SLR Nicky in P11. CG Allen will start P12. Daniel on his debut with a decent effort down in P13. Dangerman P14. SLR Sem will start P15. TMR of Ale 16th. BTX 17th. Cineflow 18th. Crooken in 19th. And Davi did not set a time and will start from the back of the grid. So let's see. As we head into the pit lane now, it is very overcast and grey, similar to what we had in Spa last week out.
We're going to get another 20 seconds of rain.
Are we going to get more rain? There's been a lot of rain in the Tier 2 season so far.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. It's definitely definitely a possibility though.
Yeah, the last race was absolutely crazy. It went from 20 seconds of wet to dry, and then back to wet, and then back to dry.
Safety car, and then it rains.
Absolutely madness.
Yeah.
Hopefully see the same again today. The drivers, their strategy, lower their fuel. Seconds till the start.
So, Buckley, any predictions on who you have for the race win early on?
I think it's going to be an absolute titanic battle between Shark, Nuvolari, especially Nuvolari with his home Grand Prix, Dambos and Surat. Even two Ferraris can get into the action. I'm going to go with the home boy. I'm going to back Nuvolari for this. I think he's going to grab the win and hopefully get his win at his home Grand Prix.
Yep, I think that's a very good shout. But I'm gonna go with an outsider. I'm gonna go with FNT Juninho from P6.
Yeah. Definitely. Anyone from first to sixth, and then seventh, or even eighth, chance of winning this qualifying was really close. So, see.
We've got a few drivers on the medium tyres. SLR Nicky, CJ Allen, TSR Dangerman, SLR Sem, FRA BTX and FXBR Davi all starting on the medium tyres. Obviously the top 10 all on the softs, as well as Daniel, TMR of Ale, Cineflow and Crooken all opting for a fresh set of softs outside the top 10.
Yeah, I think SLR Nicky, they're P11 for mediums. I think he's got a really good chance of picking long and pit for the softs at the end, and he can, get a few moves going and bring himself up the order. Same for CG Allen as well. Never be told.
So as we head up to the final corner of Parabolica now, and they will be passing the old banking section of the Monza track, built back in 1922. As we said, a very, very historic circuit, coming up to 100 years old. Obviously a lot different to what we saw from that first race.
He's got disqualified from race up. His tires
he got disqualified by turn 1, I think, as well. So he's going to struggle off the start, I think, as he has to wait for the rest of the drivers to form up on the grid. So watch the drivers now. They all line up onto the grid. There's two Red Bulls taking the back row of the grid. And the drivers are lined up now as we wait for the lights to come on. We do have the lights on our screen, but as we know, it is usually a glitch start. So we will wait for the actual lights to come on the driver's screen. we can get this race underway.
Yep.
And it is lights out, and away we go. It's a brilliant start from Downboss on the second row, and he's already got himself side by side with Shark into turn 1. It's an absolutely fantastic start from the Alfa Romeo. Can he take the lead into turn 1? He's side by side with with Shark, and Surratt's just behind him with a big contact through turn 1. And I think they've gotten away with it. Downboss has ghosted, and there's been collision at the back of the field. There is a BTX, I think, has been spun round. And now Surratt in the slipstream of Shark. He's going to go to the inside of the second chicane. Can he take the lead of the Italian Grand Prix? Yes, he can. Gets it slowed down in time before the chicane and gets moved on his teammate. And Nuvolari has dropped a long way back as well off that start, Buckley.
Shark and Nuvolari, I don't know what happened, I wasn't looking. That's unfortunate for the home boy. There's been a huge collision as BTX. No, never mind, he's lagging.
Nicky's spun. Nicky's been taken out of the race. He's a long way back now. Ofale's made his move up the inside of CJ Allen, and there's contact at Ascari. It was very rough from Ofale. CJ Allen did not want to give the position up, and they've made contact. They've both got away with it though, as Matt is now looking to get past the homeboy, DSP Nuvolari. But yeah, there was contact between, I believe it was Shark and Downboss.
Here comes Shark and Sarah, the two teammates.
Yeah, teammates going at it again. Surratt goes defensive on the inside. Shark not using much of his overtake down the straight. I think he's already used a lot, but he's got the position done. He's got the car slowed down in time, but it's going to give him a very poor exit out of turn 2, and now his teammate's going to have a great chance to get past him.
Oh, he's on the grass!
And they're side by side through Curva Grande. This is great racing from the pair of them. Lovejoy's on the grass! And Downboss down the middle, it's 3 wide! Can he get the move done? Oh, they've made contact! And he's got the move done, and Surratt's had a half spin, and Kevin's made his way through, and he's now up into P3. And Downboss takes the lead out of nowhere.
Oh, Surratt's after dropping back the FT. However you pronounce it. He's after to go up to P4.
Now Katia as well. Just wanted to start. He's looking to make a move on Matt. He's a little bit too far back on this occasion. But it's been a lively opening 2 laps, Buckley. They are not finished yet. Yeah, here he comes.
I'm home, boy.
And it's going to be... it's not a corner you can really go side by side up, but he's going to go for the move up the inside. Nuvolari gives him the squeeze. And Nuvolari holds it around the outside. There's a bit of contact.
Oh, there's contact, yeah.
Shark sets the fastest lap. Can he keep ahead of his teammate? Yeah, he's going to go for a move on Downboss here. No, he's a little bit too far back.
Oh, wait.
And there's 3 wide at the back, and it's Matt down the inside of Nuvolari, side by side through turn 1. And it's going to be contact. Oh, they've squeezed each other. And now on the exit of turn 2, can Matt get the move done on Nuvolari? He's got the shorter run through the Curva Grande. He should be able to get the move, and he is past Nuvolari. Will Nuvolari fight back, or will Kata make the move on Nuvolari as well? It looks as if Matt's got the position done, and they're going to have to survive that order for a few more corners.
Get on the gravel. 5.
There's an almighty train, pretty much all the way down to P13, Buckley.
See what Shark do. He's right up to the diffuser of that box. I'm just lagging
as well. Kata's looking quite quick early on. He hasn't really picked up a penalty though. He's going to be hanging over for the rest of the race. And Janino has made a move on Surratt, and they're side by side, and there's been contact, and Surratt's round.
Surratt.
He's round at Parabolica. He got the squeeze, and he's going to have to box with front wing damage. And Shark's taking the lead of the race.
Yep. There we go.
And he's got past Downboss. And it looks like Kata's going to go for a move on Nuvolari. He's a little bit too far back. And Matt's made a mistake through turn 1, Buckley, and he's going to be under pressure now from the Alfa Romeo. As Kata has an almighty slide through turn 2, and that's going to give Tavares the opportunity now to possibly make a move into the second chicane. And he is using his overtake. Here he comes, Buckley, around the outside of the chicane. Can he get the move done? He's going to get squeezed onto the grass. He can't get the move done. And Kata's really struggling with his rear end.
Slide. Keep the position. Dan Boss is really looking feisty again. He's trying to back the lead.
And the two Ferrari boys have got themselves up as P3 and P4,
Yeah.
which is important for their races. And off alley as well, after the bit of contact with CG Allen. He's now moved his way into this train. Yeah, a lot of drivers with penalties very, very early on. And yeah, off alley is looking very racy here. Possibly might be looking for a move on Tavares down the straight. As Tavares doesn't quite hit the apex, that's only going to aid off alley in his attempt to catch him. But it looks like Damos is going to make a move again down the inside. And Shark doesn't fight it. Damos. Oh, and I think they made a bit of contact in turn one, Buckley.
Just took him out. Right.
Yeah, and Shark now is going to have the slipstream into the second chicane. I don't think he's going to go for the move though.
What is that? Dive bomb from Sinister on Daffy. That be Daniel Ricciardo. Literally in the round.
Oh, and here comes Tavares on Kata. And he breaks earlier. Doesn't get the move. Oh, and he's clipped the curb, and that's really going to put him under pressure now from off alley. He can't quite get close enough to make the move. And the Delta's broken at the front. I thought the two leaders were side by side. Not to be. But here comes off alley. Is he going to go for a move into Ascari? He's not going to be close enough on this occasion. So yeah, still all of them battling early on, and Sharks made a move. He's back up into the lead, but it's only going to give Damos the slipstream of DRS down the straight. As Damos has made another mistake.
Yeah.
No, I think he's going to be too far back on this occasion, I think. And Kevin's looking very, very interested now. And his teammate Janino as well, right behind him. Janino probably looking the quicker out of these two at the moment. Is there going to be team orders down at Ferrari? Not as of yet. The two just staying line astern at the moment.
Two Ferrari boys want to pounce on these two front lads. The whole Dan Boss is far back. Down back of the field. Oh, it's quiet.
Yeah, there's a bit of a train going on for P13 at the moment.
Yeah.
A lot of them on the mediums. I think Bram Nilsson has either picked up damage or is just really, really struggling now on those old soft tyres. He's falling off the back of this train. But yeah, these guys fighting as well is going to bring Daniel, possibly CJ Allen back in the fight.
Yellow flag.
We've got a spinner, turn one, that's Danger Man. I don't think he's hit the wall, so he should be alright. Continuing Shark! Oh my goodness! He was nearly in the wall, Buckley. I don't know how he caught that, but he's managed to hold it. And that could have been an almighty crash.
Very scary again. Bites the drivers as always. If you push that just that over the edge, Ascari's going to bite you in.
Oh, and Off-Alley span.
Say what?
Buckley. Off-Alley's off at Parabolica.
Parabolica, yeah.
And he's boxed. I think he picked up a bit of damage as we see Damos now making a move for P1 down the inside. They're going to be side by side through turn one though. And Shark doesn't want to get the position up. Bit of contact between the two of them, and Damos has been punted off. And they're going to be side by side now through the curve of Grande. Shark's going to have to tuck into the slipstream. And he's now going to go for the move again into the second chicane, Buckley.
Kevin! Oh, he's back over.
It's going to be very close. Oh, it's contact! And he's managed to avoid it. It's nearly whacked the back of Shark as well. And that is Dambos' afternoon done and dusted.
Oh, he's trying to get in. Oh, he's having an absolute air.
That was enormous, Buckley. Dambos very nearly came back onto the track and wiped out Shark. He managed to just about avoid him. But he was completely backwards. A bit of contact between the two of them. And yeah, that's really ruined his afternoon. And Shark's round! Sorry! And he's hit the wall! And just like that, the two leaders,
Scary
Hammer and Tong. And here comes Janino on the inside. He doesn't think to make the move on that occasion.
And of all this, the two Ferraris are in the lead, tackling in Matt. Where did Matt come out with P3?
The two Ferraris as well. They've run a quiet race. The two out in front, as we see Janino is going to make a move into turn one for the lead of this race now. Kevin doesn't fight it.
As the new boy
gets the move done.
the Mercedes, he goes up to P7. He's having his stunner at the start. His first lap,
Yeah.
first 8 laps.
If he can catch up to this train, that'll be even better for him. Navarro, it seems to be struggling a little bit now.
As the two Ferraris,
yeah,
here we go.
The two leaders were battling all of the first 7 laps, and it's not paid off for either of them. As Juninho now finds himself in the lead of this Italian Grand Prix, which is a Ferrari 1-2 as well. Tifosi are going to be over the moon at the moment.
Tifosi are absolutely screaming the lungs out right now.
So what was a 11-car train has now only dropped to a 6-car train. And that was a few laps. As I was saying,
the two cars don't have any penalties either. So
yeah,
we're looking good for
Kevin as we
flag
Tinfo's out, and that's at the second Lesmo on the exit.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big
could
crash.
Bring up safety car. It's a virtual safety car. Will anybody think to pit and try and gain a bit of time? It looks like Matt is coming in, and Nivellari as well. There's a few of these guys coming in. So the top, the back 3 of that lead train have all boxed under the virtual safety car, which I think is the best bet for them.
Yeah,
they're going to gain quite a bit of time on these lead guys.
I think Matt's really gaining out of this BC.
Ooh, and the Alfa Romeo has forced the Mercedes with an unsafe release. And it's gone green flag a little bit too early for these guys. They would have liked it to last even just a couple more seconds, but they would have gained a big amount of time.
Yeah, this getting time matched. He's probably in prime position right now. As Nivellari actually.
Yeah, Nivellari is out in front of Matt. I think Matt had a bit of a slow stop, and Alfa Romeo was just released completely into his path, and he was forced to slam on his brakes. But obviously, there's going to be no unsafe releases on this game, so it should be nothing to worry about.
Oh, there's a yellow flag.
Him. Dangerman's out of the session. I think that's him in the pit lane. And
he's coming back out
coming up. These guys are coming up to overtake BTX now, who's just made a mistake. This could really help Nivellari now.
Yeah,
Buckley's. Watch one of the. Neither of the Ferraris are in Buckley. They've both stayed out.
Really confused.
And that is an awful strategy call, because now one of them's going to have to stay out for 12 laps on a set of softs, and these softs only really want to go 10 laps. We do see Bram Nilsson and Daniel into the pits. Daniel's gone on a set of hards, and Matt's made the move on BTX in the DRS and slipstream. BTX trying to tuck back in, but he's not going to have enough grip to go up the inside of Matt. Kata's lost a load of time under those pit stops, Buckley, as he has lost this train. Well, he's just about still in it, but he's going to have to get past BTX as well.
Yeah, he's in prime position with that to take back the lead of this.
Him and Matt are going to be, I think, quite a long way clear of these guys, as Kevin's made a move for the lead of this race just before Ascari. Oh, and he's lost it in the middle of the corner, and that's really not going to help either of these guys. One of these is going to be boxing this lap, no question. It's just a question of who. You would assume it will be the race leader, FNT Kevin. But we will see. And it looks like Kevin is pulling to the right hand side as he comes into the pit lane. So Juninho now is the only driver still to box on a set of soft tyres, as Shark boxed quite early on. And Shark... Oh yeah, Shark's Ghost, isn't it? So we'll see where Kevin comes out then, Buckley. There they go. They're already past the Ferrari driver. And he's going to be behind Crooken. He's going to come up behind Crooken. That is a long way back. I mean, they could prove me wrong here, but yeah, I think there's a poor call from the Ferrari pit wall to leave both drivers out. And you've got to remember as well, Juninho was behind Kevin, and he stayed out an extra lap. So where is Juninho going to come out? He's going to come out in no man's land.
Yeah. really good for
You've got to remember as well, these guys do have penalties. We're not going to look at the penalties. We're going to leave it to the end, so it's a bit of an unknown. But what we do know is that Nuvolari, Kata and Matt have all got a penalty, and Janino and Kevin currently do not. It could affect the results at the end. Janino is now into the pit lane, so we'll keep an eye on where he filters out, but he should be, I would assume, more than a second behind Kevin. Kevin is on the back of BTX now, who is still to pit, going long on those medium tyres. You see Janino still in the pit lane, and these guys fly past.
Yeah, they just comes. Wow.
Yeah,
the power of
there he is coming out. He's going to come out. He's going to come out ahead of his teammate. It's going to be very, very close into turn one. As Janino at the inside, they're going to be side by side through turn one. And these two, that's not what Ferrari would have wanted really, for the two of them to start battling on the exit. But Janino holds a position somehow. I think Kevin got held up a little bit by BTX, who is now coming to fight Kevin round the outside.
Come on, BTX.
Doesn't want to give his position. All the way on the outside, he breaks the latest. And he's off the track. A little bit too deep. And he's had to give the position back up to Kevin, but he went for it round the outside.
He went for it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair play for fun.
Quite pay off for the Dutch driver, but yeah, I think he's in a bit of his own race at the moment. He will be quick at the end on those soft tyres. So whether he can catch up and gain some points in this race will be a question. We've got a yellow flag, and Crooken's out. Crooken's out. Scary, and it's on the left-hand side. That's a big crash. And it's a virtual safety car again.
Big crash. Davy, what he do? He's going to pick for new soft side set. That's going to benefit him.
No, the softs won't go to the end.
The softs won't go to the end.
Well, they could, but it's going to be very, very rough. But he has to opt for a set of softs.
Yeah,
no, he's going for a set of hards. He is going for a set of hards. Which I still think he should have stayed out. Most likely would have been his best bet. Because the hards are not a good race tyre around here. So Nuvolari's looking very quick on this virtual safety car at the moment. Let's hope that he doesn't speed and get a drive through, because that would be disastrous for his race. But he's gained a lot of time on Matt, who is trying to keep as close as possible. But Janino's picked up a drive through. Janino has picked up a drive-through under the safety car, and Ferrari's day goes from bad to worse. And that is awful for the Ferrari driver. He's going to drop right to the back end of the points now.
I think the crucial thing to look at right now is he's out of the DRS. That's going to be absolutely
he had a great virtual safety car.
Yeah, that's going to be absolutely crucial.
So, well, the thing is, can Matt get himself within 1 second? He's looking like he can at the moment. It's going to be very close.
But he used all of the DRS.
He is going to have it.
Yeah.
He's used a bit of DRS to get himself back in DRS, which is important for his afternoon. And he will have it on this lap, so he should be alright. Janino might be boxing to service drive through this lap, which he is. Nicky is out of the session, Buckley. That's at Parabolica.
Parabolica.
If the safety car comes out now, that is really going to help Janino.
Parabolic.
And safety car.
The Haas is upside down.
Safety car's come right out behind Janino. Sorry.
Haas is upside
Janino down the pit
lane. And that's not very good. I hope that was okay.
Yeah, they've cleared the car already. But yeah, the safety car is out, and that has not really helped Nuvolari and Matt. They were looking strong, and they had a good gap to Kevin.
This is really
gap down to Kevin at the moment, 6 seconds. So yeah, they're not going to be happy with that. But
the pitch stops.
I think a lot of them will. Yeah.
The safety car stays there for another
the safety car will be out for at least 2 laps.
Yeah, that's 16. That's 11 laps.
They should be. Yeah, they should be all right for the softs. They will be quite worn at the end. But we'll see if anybody risks it staying out. I think both of the hard runners, CGL and Ofale, will box. Davy on a fresh set of hards will probably box as well.
I think New Larry's going to stay out there, but you know, he looks like he's going
He's
to...
taking a tight line. He's looking like he's thinking about it.
He
stays out. And Matt
stays.
boxes. Matt's made the decision.
Matt,
He's done the opposite of Navallari. Cat is also boxed. What will Kevin do? Kevin stays out. Kevin stays out. CJ Allen will box. Ofale will stay out on the set of hards. No, he won't. He boxes last minute.
Last minute.
But this has brought Janino back into the play. So Matt on a set, they're all going to be on a set of softs. And will Janino box? No, he stays out. So he's going to try and get ahead of these guys. It's going to be quite important as well. Can he get ahead of these guys coming out the pit lane? He's got ahead of most of them, but he's dropped behind Matt. So he's back up into P4 after all of that.
I don't think that's a good strategy call from Nublar. I think he should have boxed the same with Kevin as well as Matt. He's in prime position. We need second.
I agree, but we saw from the race yesterday that being on the quicker tyre, it's still very difficult to get past people if they are in the slipstream and DRS off the car in front. So it would be a question of how quick can Matt get his way past these two, and if he can build the gap. Obviously he's got to build the gap big enough to Kevin.
Yeah,
penalties at the moment.
I just had flashbacks to last week's race with you on the fast tyres.
Let's not talk about that race. Let's not talk about that race.
For you viewers at home, I'm wondering what I'm on about. Mercury boxing pretty much the same situation on the stock tyres. And going from, but I think it was Urban Unicorn, going down the parabolic and absolutely gets taken out. That was the end of his race, so as seen
that was the end of my season, funnily enough.
As seen by Mercury, it's not really that easy to protect, so you see the soft tyres.
Did I just see someone pulling into the pit lane? Yes, I did. That is SLR Sem.
Yeah.
Box last minute, but he's going to lose a load of time.
Yeah,
he's obviously... I don't know why he didn't box first time. Obviously his hard tyres would have gone to the end, but it's not the ideal strategy. I believe the safety car should be up for another lap. We are waiting for Bram Nilsson and Surratt to catch up to the back of this train. Interesting enough, Surratt opted for a fresh set of mediums, as did Dan Boss and Ofale. So they obviously weren't confident the softs going all the way. Well, they thought that the mediums might be quicker towards the end.
Position change in Mercury. Affects BR Davy, he's gained 15 positions for this race.
Yeah, so far. BTX as well.
BTX, yeah.
He's had an up and down afternoon, but he's currently sitting in P7. Obviously Shark and Downboss with the instant big losers.
Surratt has lost
safety car might be in this lap actually. So keep an eye on race control what they decide to do. The two will be at the back of this train as they cross the first sector line now, and it is in this lap. So we're going to have what will be 11 laps of racing once they cross the line. Matt is in prime position to take another victory here, but he's got a lot of work to do to make sure that no mistakes are made. He's got to make sure that he doesn't pick up another penalty as well.
Yeah, let's hope Nublar doesn't do me on it, spinning off the safety car. I was in the lead on Paris.
That was the same race, yeah, that was an eventful one.
That was the same race as well, yeah.
Well, Nivellari's really backing him up.
Yeah, here we
very,
go,
very slowly from Parabolica.
Safety car
comes in very slowly, and here he comes, he's bolted, and Tavares has picked up a penalty for a bit of a collision with CJ Allen. But Kevin now in the slipstream, he's going to have a great run into turn one.
Here we
get close enough to make a move. He's going to be a little too far back. Nivellari still goes defensive to make sure that he holds that position. Kevin breaks around the outside, is he going to hold that? No, he has to back out last minute. He knows better than to stick his nose in there. As we see CJ Allen having a bit of a battle with a Red Bull, and the Red Bull's round, and there's been contact through turn one. And there's about 3 cars sideways. And we'll have to look at the battle as well, quickly, as Matt is looking to get involved on Kevin. Is he going to go for a move? Thinks better of it. Kevin goes defensive, keeps the move. And further down. We've got movement throughout the field. It's big crash in the second chicane. And Damos is out.
A huge crash.
And there's debris all over the track. I wouldn't be surprised to see another safety car of some sorts out on the track.
He is.
And Matt's going for the move, Buckley.
Oh, here we go then.
But Kevin holds it, and Nuvolari's bolting at the moment. Kevin needs to keep with him for his afternoon. But Matt is looking like the quickest on those soft tyres. And here he comes. On the outside. And he's got the move done on Kevin. And he's got the move and he's now up into P2. This is what he needed for his afternoon. He now needs to go on the charge and go and catch that Alfa Romeo.
That's Matty Banter showing Ellis Murphy how it's done. One of the parabolica. That's Matty Banter, he's chasing after
and Catcher as well. Catcher on Janino.
Catcher as well, yeah.
A little bit too far back. But he's thinking about the move. Eyeing him up. He go around the outside of turn 1. What a move from the Italian driver. He's not hanging around. And he's put himself on the field. What an overtake. And he just caught Janino sleeping, but Janino's going to come back at him now.
Yeah.
Can Kata make the move up the inside? Oh, he's contact! And he's off of the wall. Oh, and he's kept out of the wall.
Oh, there's been contact. I think he's
got damage.
He's got damage.
I think he got thrown into the wall from that contact.
Oh.
And yeah, I think his afternoon's done. He's been through wars. And
side by side. Yeah, he gets through.
Yeah, Janino's out.
He retired.
Serrat's got damage on his front wing. Left hand
Serrat?
plate damage.
Yeah.
And look at the gap down to Kevin.
Here
Buckley.
we go then, Matty Banter.
And Matt's on a charge yet
God.
again for this race.
Absolutely
And Kevin's really struggling. He hasn't got the pace to keep up with these guys. And Matt looks like he's going to have an easy overtake, even without the DRS enabled, which will be able to cross the line now. He's not using any of his DRS though. I think he's biding his time. He's not going for the move on this occasion.
Yeah, Matt needs to take
Nuvolari's used a low glory RS as well, which obviously is not going to help him in his defence from Matt. And Matt now through Parabolica. And it looks like CJ Allen's going to make a move on Kevin here. And he has, he's passed Kevin. And CJ Allen puts himself up into P3. And Kevin's fading.
Kevin.
And Tavares sets the fastest lap of the race. And Kevin's dropping back every single lap now. And his chances of a win now.
Nice.
Yeah, look how much ERS he's got. He's biding his time. He knows that he can be patient.
Why are you dying? Not taking any risk.
He's toying with Nuvolari at his home Grand Prix. And Nuvolari's picked up a penalty there. I believe that's his second one of the race as well. CJ Allen as well, Buckley, has just about got himself in DRS. That could be an issue for Matt later in the session.
Yeah,
although he was biding his time on the Alfa Romeo, it may cost him later on with these two now on this train. But he's going to make his move now on the Alfa Romeo driver. There's nothing Nuvolari can do. Matt on the fresh and softer rubber makes his way into P1.
Yeah,
the question is, can he build that gap now?
Yeah, it's crucial for Allen now to get the move on Nuvolari to chase after Matt.
Yeah, Matt's burning his ERS now.
Yeah.
He knows he's got to break that slipstream, otherwise CJ Allen will be passed and will be with him pretty much, battling for that lead. Kevin's still hanging by a thread on that DRS, and I think Nuvolari's made a mistake, and that's going to cost him, as the gap is now 1.1, 1.2 coming through second Lesmo. He's not going to have DRS down this straight, and that is now going to put CJ Allen on the offensive to possibly get himself up into P2 for this Italian Grand Prix.
Yeah, Matt's absolutely under. He's 1.4 seconds ahead of Nuvolari as the AlphaTauri. I think the AlphaTauri is going to be on the podium.
Yeah, Kevin's still just clinging on to that DRS, so he's still in this train.
Yeah.
But for how much longer will be the question, as it looks like it might be an easy move for CJ Allen coming through turn 1. He's not got much ERS left though, as Matt sets the fastest lap of the race now. And here comes CJ Allen in the slipstream of Nuvolari. Nuvolari doesn't go defensive. And oh, it's contact on the straight! Oh my goodness!
Allen.
And they've gotten away with that one. And oh, has he? Allen's off the track.
He goes absolutely so deep. Larry gets down, side by side, going around the corner behind. Here we go. Side by side. There's going to be more contact.
And CJ Allen's run out of ERS as well. So this is going to be difficult for him to hold the position. As now they're going to be side by side for the second chicane. Surely there's more contact. And he's been forced on the grab, and here comes Kevin. Kevin's made his move to Nuvolari, and Nuvolari's going to be absolutely fuming with CJ Allen. And I wouldn't blame him one bit. It's very, very rough from CJ Allen. And this is just completely sent Matt so far up the road.
That is absolutely going by 1 second.
He's just got his head down. And he's in his own now. This has put Nuvolari behind Kevin now. The question is, can CJ Allen pull away from these guys on the soft tyres? He's running out of ERS is his only issue.
Yeah.
I don't think he's really going to be able to get away from these guys. And all of this battling as well has brought the 2 racing points into this.
Yeah, Brandon and Peter can see what they can do.
And here comes Kevin. He's got a great slipstream down into turn 1, Buckley. Is he going to go for a move into turn 1? He's gaining massively. He knows better of it. He knows that he's bided his time. He's got plenty of ERS to fight. Oh, he's got 50%, but it's a lot more than what CJ Allen's got. So yeah, the softs will be going off towards the end, next few laps or so, probably about lap 25, 26. The gaps down the back of the field are very, very separated. There is a small battle going on for P7. Shark just in no man's land in that final points playing position.
They're away from the battle as well. On 2 stops as well.
So they could really challenge these guys.
Yeah.
Well, if they're going to do it, they need to do it early on. We've got a spinner, and that will be FRA BTX. He's off for turn 1. He's had a bit of a torrid afternoon.
He's doing donuts for the sportsy.
And he's brought out a safety car, Buckley. And he's going to be in big trouble for that.
Yeah.
He's going to be in big trouble for that. And that has completely ruined Matt's afternoon.
That has totally changed the race. Here we go, Nuvolari pits. As off the pits.
It's alright, yeah, 7 in the pits. Kevin still stays out. But the best option is to stay out. Especially for Kevin, who's got no penalties. And
what are you doing, like?
Wow, and to the guys watching, I can only apologise, but that has really ruined this race.
Shouldn't be that. It's going to be a really harsh penalty from the stewards, causing a safety car by not retiring the pit lane. Obviously causing a safety. It's going to be a penalty for him after the race. Let's see who's the drivers and catch up to the safety car. Actually, Alan's going to have a chance to save it once again, so he's going to be rest, saving it to all the other drivers. And see what Kevin does. Does he pay for does he stay out?
No, he'll stay out 100%. All he has to do is keep these top 2. He's won the race.
Yeah, there we go. He's got no penalty.
Yep. And that's what I was saying with the safety car being brought out. It's really ruined the suspense of this race, I think. And yeah, Matt's really going to struggle to break the DRS from these 2 and get that gap.
Yeah, the rest gets powerful around the track, I think. At least trouble, but that's going to be still.
Yep. So I think the safety car should be out for another lap. So we will have, I believe, 2 laps 2 full laps of racing.
Yeah, 2 laps, Matt, about a 3-second gap. It's 5-second lead. It's looking so good to take these back-to-back victory. I think because of it,
Who's that, sorry?
I was there. It's Matt.
Yeah, Matt won in Spa.
Back-to-back, yeah.
Interesting enough, I don't think Kevin has won a race for 3 races now. It was Qatar in Hungary. I've forgotten the calendar now.
Yeah. Everyone said as well, if he's going to have really good chances, he catches up to the safety car with no penalties, as all the drivers above him has.
He will.
He's going to jump on.
On a fresh set of softs, if he can just keep his nose clean and not lose any time, he's going to be in a really good position. Yeah. In fact, if this is a whole train and none of them break DRS, because I mean obviously it's unlikely, but if it does happen, he could be looking for possibly a podium or a top 5 at least. So
if he comes P2 from P10 off the build.
Yeah.
Could you?
Well, that shows you how important it is to avoid penalties.
Keep your nose clean.
Yeah, Kevin again at the moment with no penalties. Yeah, he's. I don't think he's picked up 1 penalty all season. So it's, yeah, he's been very dominant this season, as we've said multiple times. But safety car should be in this lap, even though Davi is a long way back. I doubt it will come in on the final lap, because that would that'd be
horrendous.
Well, I wouldn't put it beyond co-masters. But, yeah, we'll see. If it really stays out to keep let Davi catch up the pack, I'll be surprised. We'll have to see. We'll find out when the safety car crosses the second delta line. Second sector delta, sorry.
See if safety car drops lights.
Safety car in this lap. Lights are out on the safety car. So we're going to have 2 full laps of racing.
2 laps shoot at it. Let's see. The king of the temple.
Yep, the Temple of Speed, as they named it. It is the fastest average lap time. Fastest average speed over a lap on the calendar. So yeah.
New Larry's trying to get past Sharks and Ghost. That's going to really compromise him, because Ghost the skating on safety car is not really that great, is it?
And Matt's gone early. Matt's gone already for the Parabolica. And it looks like a decent restart. Yeah. And I think Ofale, and we've got a spinner. I think Kata's round.
Oh, we got a spinner!
And he's round on his home race. And it was looking good for him.
Kata, yeah.
He's out the running now. But it's a good restart from Matt. He's going to be looking to drop the DRS already, Buckley. This is his only chance of the race now. He needs to just go like the wind, and he's got some distance as well. There's still a chance for Matt in this race. It's going to have to be qualifying laps pretty much from the Mercedes driver. But he's dropped CJ Allen. He needs to gain more time though. And Navallari's picked up another penalty. That's not going to help his afternoon. He's made up a few places on the restart. But
that Mercedes absolute try on this last 2 laps straight, will lap and a half, I suppose.
Yeah, and SR Sem's looking decent as well. It's on the back of Sarah. It's on 2.2. We're gonna assume that Matt's got 1 penalty, and if he has, this is going to be mega tight.
Oh, it's going to be so
It's going to be similar to the situation we saw in Hungary, with Kata just winning by about a thousandth of a second, and Tavares now looking to make the move on SLR Sem, and this is not going to help Sem's afternoon, obviously with no penalties. On the inside, there's going to be contact, still Parabolica. They've managed to survive it though. And then now going to be down the straight. Tavares has run out of his ERS. That's not going to be good for him. It's Navallari now is looking to make a move on Ofale. Is he going to be close enough into turn 1? Is he going to do an almighty lunge down the inside? Can't quite get close enough. And Matt hasn't quite got the gap out in front.
He hasn't. He hasn't built it up.
And here comes De Valori.
Leader.
Here comes De Valori pushing off Ale through Grande. And it's close, Buckley. He's going to have to push harder though. He needs to get the gap. And down the inside, Nivellari at the second chicane, side by side with Ale. And there's contact between the two of them, and Bram Nilsson's off. And, the McLaren's just avoided him, and he's put himself up into P4.
Contact!
And they're side by side still, and the gap out in front, Buckley, keep an eye on it. It is right on the limit. This is an absolute dramatic end to the end of this race. And it's 2.9. Who's going to win this race? We don't know. We don't know what the penalty situation is saying, and we don't know what the gap's going to be at the end. But he's got the gap. He's got the gap.
He's got the gap.
And now Nivellari has dropped back, but he's now looking to make a move on Sem. But we will now switch to Matty Banter. He's had a brilliant Italian Grand Prix. He's built the gap to what he needs just about, but has he got the penalties? As they cross the line now, CJ Allen will finish in P2. Cross the line, Matt wins! He wins the Italian Grand Prix. FNT Kevin, P2 again for the third race in a row. Oh, what a dramatic end to that race.
Matty Banter, the king of the temple, comes out with 2/10 of gap. Wow,
3 seconds in 2 laps. He built to Kevin.
Matt wins his back-to-back races. Absolute stunning race. Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
What a finish to that race. 2 laps of pure racing. We didn't really get an idea of the whole field. It was Matt who took the victory by 0.2 of a second. Kevin on the second step of the podium for the third race in a row. CJ Allen, I believe, picked up the podium in the end. So
Sam got a penalty in the final lap. You didn't get a penalty in P3.
But P5, still a good result from the McLaren. So yeah, it was Matt who took the victory in a brilliant fashion, and I think for the second race in a row, he's definitely a contender for driver of the day. FNT Kevin in P2, CG Allen picks up an unlikely podium as well from P12 on the grid. Off Ale, great race from him as well, great recovery. SLR Sem as well, great result. Davi picking up P6 from back of the grid. Surratt with a difficult race, but he still picked up P7. Graham Nelson P8. Tavares in P9, and Kata with that spin as well, pretty much ruined his afternoon. Shark just missed out on points in the end. Nivellari was on lap down in the end. Your DNFs were BTX, Daniel, Janino, Danboss, SLR Nicky, Crooken, TSR Dangerman, and Cinefly. Wow, what an ending to that race. I mean, we were assuming that Matt only had 1 penalty, and the gap was very close.
Absolutely incredible.
Wow. Yeah, a brilliant race all round. We saw some great battles throughout the field, and I think Kevin is going to be so frustrated. You know, he's lost the victory 2 out of the last 3 races by less than 0.2. So yeah, he'll be disappointed. But obviously still P2, strong points in the championship. But his closest rival is now Matty Banter. So obviously being beaten by him is not going to be it's not going to be great for him. Yeah, but we got Matt in the commentary box now for an interview yet again. 2 races in a row, Matt, and you had us on the edge of our seats all the way to the end. We thought when that safety car came out that the chances were gone, but you put in some mighty qualifying laps. Just take us through those last 2 laps at the end.
I don't know. The tyres did not feel the same when before the safety car. Obviously, I think all the warming up, the tyres just don't feel that drop within the safety car, but after the safety car, the tyres don't feel the same. But even then, I just had to put the laps in. I run out of ERS before qualifying on the second to last lap. I was worried that I was not going to have to run down the main straight. But it was just, I had to put laps in. I don't like having to push in the last 2 laps. I like to nice and easy to the end in Belgium, but I had to push as hard as I could without getting too many warnings, because I think I had 2 more warnings. I think I had another penalty. So I was like, I've got to push, but I just need to make sure I do not track limit, like extend track limit. And I just managed to get it together, beating by 2/10, which is too close to comfort, to be honest.
Well, you had a bit of a tricky start to the season, to say the least. But since that victory in Canada, you've really picked up your season, and obviously that is your 3rd race victory now, I believe. How do you feel going forward? Do you feel like you can really put this momentum forward and at least, put Kevin under a bit of pressure for that championship for a few more rounds?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think I can carry this more forwards. First third of the season, I always knew that was going to be my weak part. Lots of tracks there I'm not a big fan of, but I knew since after Canada, I knew that I can pick that up. And now I just think if I can keep getting these good results and nailing these strategies like this, I think some more wins could be on the way. But Kevin's so far ahead, but I'm just going to keep trying to push and trying to put him some sort of pressure. But it's just trying to get as much points as I can, just see if we can do something to catch him up. But let's just see what we can do.
Well, finally, Matt, you did mention that you're hoping to get a few more wins at least this season. Obviously, we've got the flyaway races now. Which ones are you most importantly looking at as your biggest chances? And Singapore next week in particular, how are you feeling?
Singapore, not sure about Singapore, to be honest. Never been my strongest track. So to be honest, I've done 2 laps around there on D4 setup. That's all I've done in this game so far around Singapore. So, not a big fan of that. But I think tracks like Mexico, Abu Dhabi, Japan maybe, even Brazil. There's quite a few tracks that I like. So I think I've got a good end of the season as well. Get a few wins.
Well, thank you very much for the interview, Matt, and well done again on back-to-back victories.
Thanks.
We've also got SR Sem in the commentary box as well. Sem, if you make sure that you include your audio, we'll give you a couple of questions about the race. So
why am I here? I finished P5.
the top 3, 2 of them don't speak English, I believe. So we thought we'd get you in. But yeah, pretty decent result. I think you finished P5, as you said. Last week out as well, you had very good pace in Belgium until obviously the strategy went a little bit wrong. But yeah, how did you feel about the race overall?
Well, given that I lost my wing lap 1, was 30 seconds behind everyone else, then immediately after the first safety car lost my wing again, after there was about a 5-person pile up ahead of me that I couldn't really avoid, I'd say to get P5 it went pretty well, because I was so far off everyone until the final safety car, and I kept it clean, didn't get any penalties until actually Ascari on the final lap, but I only lost in 1 position.
Yeah, we were rooting for you throughout the safety car, because obviously it was 2 laps to go, and you and Kevin were the only drivers without the penalty.
Yeah.
Obviously, it only would have gained you that 1 position in the end, but
yeah.
Did you feel like, yeah, was it a bit frustrating at the end picking up that last penalty?
Well, a bit, but then I saw where I was anyway, and I'd only lost 1 place to it, so I thought, given that how my race has gone, and given that, well, I only got an invite to join the race about 5 minutes before it, and didn't really know that I'd be racing until then, I'd say it went pretty well. Like, yeah, I'd say, like, yeah, I'm completely happy. Of course, like some of the racecraft on show today, and just so many incidents that were involved. The amount of yellow flags and cars retiring and stuff obviously played into my hands a bit. Of course, you never like to see that. You want racing to be as clean as possible. But yeah, I'm ecstatic with the P5 and have no idea how I got it. But I guess it pays to be clean and not get penalties, because sometimes you get late safety car and that happens.
Well, as we said, bit of an up and down race for you, but a pretty good result in the end, P5. So well done on that, and thank you for the interview tonight as well, and wish you best of luck for next week.
Thank you.
So that wraps up the race tonight. Cracking race yet again. That's quite a few in a row that we've had. Some great battles down the field, and a dramatic end as well to end off the evening. Me and Buckley did think about a driver of the day, but I think there were probably about 5 of them that were very good contenders for that spot. So we'll give it to all of them tonight. There's some great drives throughout the field, but in particular, I'd say Matt, Ofale, SLR Sem were definite contenders for that. Buckley, how did you enjoy that one?
It was an absolute cracker of a race, as you said, and I really enjoyed that one. All the races that I've been commentating so far have been absolutely crackers, and yeah, it was insane, and I loved it, and I hope next week as well will be the same. And well, to Matt as well, I think I christened you during the stream the King of Temples, so well done to you for getting back-to-back races. So congratulations, and I guess.
Yep. Well, that wraps up the race for tonight, and yeah, last of the European races. Next week on Monday night, join us for the Tier 1 race where we head to Singapore, which will be a twilight race. So very excited for that. Make sure you join Rigsy and Maudi normal time on Monday evening, followed by the Tier 2 race on the Tuesday evening, which will be commentated by me and Buckley as usual. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching tonight, and we will see you next week.